at a point in time, I decided that now I want a career. And I was fortunate to get an opportunity at Curtin University, and I worked there for 7 years.
Powerful.
And it was great work. But one day I woke up and said to myself, I think the most senior person who thinks what I'm doing is important is me. And what I'm doing isn't feeding my vision for purpose in my life. But what I had done is done work with the not-for-profit sector, and it introduced me to the opportunity to revisit purpose. And then I started in the disability sector, and that's been my career for the last 20 years. And I have found purpose. Powerful. And I know that what it is that I'm doing in my work not only is of great benefit to me personally and professionally and to my family as a provider, but what I am doing is achieving my purpose, and that is to create a better world for people that might need some help to achieve that for themselves.
That's very powerful. And when you talk about your 20 years in not-for-profit space, and the language being used is not-for-profit, but they are purpose-driven organization. So how do the boards, the management, and the employees, how that culture translates from, being not-for-profit, we are a charity and we're doing things which are right to start with, but how does that marry with sustainability or the financials on the other side?
So first I'd say not-for-profit doesn't mean anything other than we're not paying dividends to shareholders. Yeah. And just by being a not-for-profit doesn't mean you're good and doesn't mean you have purpose.
Yeah.
It's just a status.
Yeah.
And I would hope that the work that I've done and the organisations that I've worked with, that we remind ourselves that status is given.
Yeah.
And now, so what?
You have to deliver on the promise.
Yeah. So what is it that we're here for? When I was in the seminary, I met and I volunteered with the Daughters of Charity. And the Daughters of Charity have a mission, and that mission is to meet the needs of the poorest of the poor. And so they would walk the streets to find the homeless. They would feed the homeless. And their great works live on across the world. That showed me that if I was to find purpose for myself, I can find organisations and groups of people like me, are looking for purpose that goes beyond what I could put in my pocket.
And when was the first instance you felt misaligned while working for an organisation where you were, and don't name the names, but situational experience how did it felt for you?
Yeah, so I think it comes down to integrity. Ultimately, a great organisation, great work, challenging environment and challenging issues that they were working through. But the moment that did it for me, where I went, this is not where I want to be, was when the question was, how are we going to overcome some issues? They brought in a consultant. The consultant said, I think you need more management. And so we doubled the size of our executive team. That's when I felt that actually our issue isn't a management issue. Our issue is a cultural issue. Our issue is a leadership issue. And I guess it just sort of said to me that if I don't believe that what it is that this organisation and us as leaders are doing, then I've got two choices. I can try to influence the decision, which of course I did try, or I could say this is not right for me. And ultimately that's the decision that I made. This wasn't right for me because I felt as though the focus for the purpose of the organisation was on how we manage and how we control our people. And I truly don't believe that any purpose-led organisation is about how we control our people.
You're right.